Vinnie Johnson, and Laimbeer just fired at Jordan. Michael doesn't.
They'll work their plays. Steele, he kept it in bounds. Here it is again. Oh, he gets it back. You'll see him out.
The day Michael Jordan destroyed Isiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer. Few rivalries in NBA history have been as bitter and personal as the battle between Michael Jordan and the Detroit Pistons, particularly Isiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer. The Pistons, known as the Bad Boys, built their reputation on physical play, trash talk, and an intimidating defense that often blurred the line between toughness and outright brutality. For years, they bullied Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, knocking them out of the playoffs with their infamous Jordan rules, a defensive strategy specifically designed to shut down MJ by any means necessary. But there came a day when Jordan had enough. He transformed himself physically and mentally, coming back stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever. In the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals, he finally got his revenge, dismantling the Pistons, humiliating Isiah Thomas, and bringing Bill Laimbeer's reign of intimidation to an end. This is the story of the day Michael Jordan destroyed Isiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer, officially ending the Bad Boys era. The origins of the rivalry, the Bad Boys versus Jordan Detroit's rise to power. During the late 1980s, the Detroit Pistons established themselves as the most physically dominant team in the NBA. Led by Isiah Thomas, the team also featured enforcers like Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, and Dennis Rodman, all known for their aggressive, hard-nosed play. Unlike teams that relied on finesse and skill, Detroit won by wearing opponents down physically. They built their identity on defense, intimidation, and mental warfare, especially when it came to Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Foul line extended or wing area. He is so good, too good at going baseline, coming back up under the basket, getting fouls on the big people. So instead, the Pistons will force him to come to the middle of the floor off the dribble, trying to get help from the next defense.
The Jordan rules, Detroit's blueprint for stopping MJ from 1988 to 1990. The Pistons developed a game plan specifically designed to neutralize Jordan, force him left. Jordan was less comfortable driving left, so defenders pushed him in that direction. Double team him immediately. The moment he got the ball, 2 or 3 defenders collapsed on him. Hard fouls every time he entered the paint. No layups or dunks allowed. Jordan was fouled hard and often. Physical and mental intimidation, Laimbeer, Rodman, and Mahorn took turns roughing him up. This approach worked for 3 straight years, with Detroit eliminating Chicago from the playoffs in 1988, 1989, and 1990. But Jordan wasn't one to back down. Instead, he got stronger, more focused, and more determined.
Take some of the pressure off KJ, and after 62 minutes, he may need some help tonight.
Johnson's finding Mark West. Back to the live out. Hitting on his first. Works his way inside. Oh, what a move by Scottie Pippen. Barkley. Charles getting the good possession. And the Bulls now lead.
Could have taken a quick shot when he first.
By Dumas. Marley over to help. It leaves Pippen open. And Pippen goes to the hoop.
No interior.
Contribution has been 0. Early entrance.
The day Jordan destroyed the Pistons, 1991 Eastern Conference Finals. By 1991, Jordan had undergone a complete transformation. He had spent the offseason gaining muscle, working on his left-hand game, and developing a new mental toughness. He was no longer just a talented scorer. He was a dominant force who could control every aspect of the game. The 1991 Eastern Conference Finals would be his moment of reckoning. Game 1, Jordan sends a message. From the opening tip-off, Jordan attacked with an aggression never seen before. He didn't wait for Detroit to set their defense. Instead, he drove into the paint fearlessly, absorbing fouls but still finishing. Dominated Isiah Thomas on defense, forcing turnovers and blocking shots. Used his new strength to overpower Laimbeer, going at him in the post. By the time Game 1 ended, Jordan had 35 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds, leading the Bulls to a dominant victory. The message was clear. The old Jordan was gone. This was a different beast. Game 2. Jordan humiliates Isiah Thomas. If Game 1 was a message, Game 2 was a personal attack on Isiah Thomas. Jordan had always resented Thomas for his role in keeping him off the 1992 Dream Team, and for years of Pistons trash talk. MJ made it his mission to outplay, outscore, and embarrass Thomas on his own home court. Thomas tried to guard Jordan one-on-one. Big mistake. Jordan torched him repeatedly, hitting fadeaways, three-pointers, and acrobatic layups. MJ played suffocating defense, forcing Isiah into bad shots and multiple turnovers. In the third quarter, Jordan hit a step-back jumper over Thomas, then stared him down for several seconds. By the end of Game 2, Jordan had nearly outscored Detroit's entire starting lineup, leading the Bulls to a 2-0 series lead. The Pistons were rattled. For the first time, they had no answer for Jordan. Game 3. Bill Laimbeer tries to fight Jordan and fails down 2-0. Detroit returned home desperate to slow Jordan down. This is when Bill Laimbeer tried to take things back to the old days. Early in the game, Laimbeer delivered a hard foul on Jordan, knocking him to the ground. Jordan got up immediately, walked straight past Laimbeer, and kept playing, completely unfazed. A few possessions later, Jordan drove past Laimbeer and dunked right over him. The Bulls crushed Detroit on their home floor, taking a 3-0 lead in the series. Laimbeer, for all his bullying tactics, could do nothing to stop Jordan. Game 4. The Pistons' ultimate humiliation. The walk-off. By Game 4, Detroit knew it was over. The Bulls were faster, stronger, and completely in control. Jordan torched the Pistons' defense one last time, finishing with 29 points and 9 assists. The Bulls led by double digits the entire game, suffocating Detroit on both ends of the floor. With seconds left, instead of congratulating the Bulls, Isiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, and the entire Pistons team walked off the court without shaking hands. It was one of the most disgraceful exits in NBA history. But Jordan didn't care. He had finally conquered his demons. Aftermath. Jordan ends the Bad Boys dynasty. After that series, the Bulls won their first NBA championship, officially starting their dynasty. The Pistons' reign ended. They never returned to the NBA Finals again. Jordan never lost to the Pistons again, sweeping them out of the playoffs. Years later, Jordan admitted that his hatred for Detroit never faded. In his mind, they had disrespected the game, and he had no respect for them. The 1991 Eastern Conference Finals wasn't just another playoff series. It was a turning point in NBA history. Michael Jordan didn't just beat Isiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer. He destroyed them. He shattered the Jordan rules and proved that no amount of physical play could stop him. He ended the Bad Boys era and ushered in a new era of Chicago Bulls dominance. That series cemented Jordan's legacy as the greatest competitor the game had ever seen. He never backed down, never gave up, and ultimately got his revenge, not just by winning, but by completely humiliating his greatest rivals. And from that moment on, the NBA belonged to Michael Jordan.